The summer before I started high school, I tried out for drill team, and drill team is huge in Texas. And this was part of my grand plan to dominate high school. I was going to have a built in group of friends. It was going to be amazing, just like on TV. And I made the team, and I was elated. And then I showed my parents the list of expenses associated with the year in drill team. And my dad said something like, $2,000? They must be out their minds. They can't afford this quiche. And in that moment, my dreams of beasting high school were dashed. And so the first couple of years of high school, I kind of drifted. I didn't know where I fit in. And to top it off, my parents were really strict, and my dad and I fought all the time. So I was kind of an unhappy teen. And then at the end of my sophomore year of high school, I got a job at this place called Discovery Zone. And the Discovery Zone is this glorious indoor playland with colorful tubes and tunnels and slides and a ball pit. And we threw birthday parties, and we had a concession stand and an arcade. And everyone who worked there was in high school, except for our managers who were like high school grads and very mature, recent college grads. And it was my refuge. I would go there. I had friends. I had a place where I belonged. The kids were awesome. I had fun. I was always smiling. And one of the friends that I made there was this girl, Renee. And she was a year ahead of me in school, went to a different high school. And I admired her. She was pretty, and I didn't think I was pretty. She was confident, and I wasn't really confident. She wore mall clothes and had a fossil watch and and she was just really well put together. And she drove this Mitsubishi Eclipse coupe, so this really cute sports car, and it just fit her whole aesthetic. And we spent a lot of time together, worked similar shifts, became really good friends. And then when she went to college, I was sad because my BFF was gone. And midway through the first semester of college, she sent me this letter out of the blue, 2 pages, handwritten, front and back, and basically list all the reasons why she doesn't like me and we shouldn't be friends anymore. And one line in particular stood out and unfortunately stuck with me for many years. She said, and it's like, you're so quiet. It's like, talk. Exclamation point, exclamation point. And I felt like it was punched in the gut. This is someone I trusted and laughed with and shared all these great moments. And she rejected me, and harshly. And so I was sad. And people at work would ask me, hey, how's Renee? Because they knew we were close. How's college for her? And I was like, oh, she's great. And yeah, that's wonderful. But one of the people I confided in was another coworker, Shara. And Shara and Renee could not be more different. Shara was like carefree and kind of had a wild streak, and Renee was kind of uptight and a little bit of goody-goody. And Shara drove a used car compared to Renee's nice, shiny new car. Shara and her mom fought a lot, and Renee had like this TV-like family with her parents. And Shara said to me, you know, I never liked her. She's kind of stuck up and a little bit of a bitch. And I laughed and I thought about it and I was like, you know what? When I was honest with myself, I never completely felt comfortable around Renee. I always kind of felt like she thought she was somehow better than me and like she was doing me a favor by being my friend. And Renee was white, and I remember one time we're sitting in her car, and she turns to me and she says, I have a question for you. How come when I'm at the mall, sometimes Black people just start singing out loud for no reason? And I didn't know why she was asking me that question, or why it made me feel uncomfortable, because at the time, I didn't have an understanding of the fact that, like, it's a racial microaggression. That shit's fucked up, but I just knew that she was putting me in this group of people who she thought were doing weird things that were uncouth and beneath her. And so I said to myself, you know what? Fuck that girl. Sharon and I started hanging out more often, and one of the things we liked to do was go to the movies. And one of the movies we saw was a movie called Fear with Reese Witherspoon and Marky Mark, who at the time was Marky Mark, fresh off his Calvin Klein campaign ad. It was Mark Wahlberg. And this movie is a stalker film. So Marky Mark is obsessed with Reese Witherspoon, and she's like, "Bro, you're creepy, leave me alone." And one day he goes to her house and he's banging on the door. No one will let him in. And he's banging. He's like, "Let me in the fucking house." And Sharon and I turned to each other and we both burst out laughing. And people around us are looking at us because it's not a comedy. It's a thriller. And this is supposed to be like a scary moment. But his acting was so bad. This is ridiculous. And at that moment, I think it sealed our friendship because we realized we had a similar sense of humor, that we could laugh at something that wasn't meant to be funny. We also realized that our birthdays were 24 days apart, and we were going to be 18 that year. And 18 was going to be amazing. It's so different than 17. You're free and you're an adult. And on my 18th birthday, Shara threw me a birthday party. I never had a friend throw me a birthday party before. And she invited her group of friends who had embraced me and made me part of their group. And I sang karaoke for the first time. Love Shack by B52. And we also came up with this list of things we could do when we turn 18. And on that list was get tattoos. So a couple months later, we went downtown Houston to this tattoo parlor, picked our tattoos off the wall, which if you talk to any like tattoo aficionado, they'll be like, "Don't do that. You gotta plan in advance, otherwise you'll regret it." Whatever, we were 18. So Shara gets a frog sitting on top of an earth on her back, and it's like a big planet. I got a rose on my stomach because I thought, oh, it's gonna be sexy. And we were elated because we were 18. We could do what we wanted. Our parents had no say, and we got tattoos. Our adventures together came to an end at the end of summer after we graduated high school because I was going to college in Austin and she was going to stay in Houston and figure out what to do with her life after high school. Before I left, she gave me this memory box filled with all these really thoughtful things, like pictures and a stress ball. And the memory box is pink and hard-sided and has flowers on it. And I remember this because I still have that box. And it's 20 plus years since she gave it to me. And it just meant so much to me that someone cared so much about me to put so much thought into something. And all these years later, we're still friends. We say happy birthday to each other on our birthdays. And, you know, I didn't have a high school experience that I dreamed about or that I saw on 90210. But I got something that was just as meaningful, if not more. And Shara has a lot to do with that. And I'm so grateful for it. And we still sometimes talk about getting our second tattoos together. So TBD on that.